along with summaries of competition. Please use Google liberally. And ask for clarification if you need more context to fulfill your task. Okay, that's now in the chat. That's an example of a prompt template. And that's just to do one thing. You can work with ChatGPT for hours doing the same thing over and over and over again. But ChatGPT can't run on its own. So let's now break down the prompt template real quick. And I made this really easy for you guys. I actually made a bot for you guys so that you guys could do it a lot easier than in this now, because teaching how to make a template is kind of weird and hard. And also teaching how to talk to an AI is kind of weird and hard, but we're still going to break it down. And then I'm going to give you an easy way out in a second. So you don't have to do all this, but this is good for our brains. We're making new neurons, right? So a prompt template is something that can be generalized for any industry that we want. So if we have a lead gen prompt template, what are the things it needs to know to make its directive possible? Well, first it needs to know the industry. It needs to know the company. It needs to know how much every lead is worth. It needs to know how fast it should be. It's just like training an employee. If you have an intern that comes in and says, I don't know how to do this, I don't know anything about selling jewelry online, I don't care. You don't need to know how to sell jewelry online. You just need to know where the supplier is, who the person is that buys it, right? I don't need you to love the product. I just need you to do your job. That's how you need to act towards the AI too. So let me show you this bot. I'm going to send a link in the chat, and then we can all go through it together, and we can kind of use what we've already written down to make our own prompt templates, unlimited prompt templates. Let's see. So this is copy link. Here we go. Okay, so I just sent it there. Now I'm going to share my screen on this bot on how to use it. Okay, so this is my prompt template maker. Find the secrets to using AI automation easily with official AI prompt template maker, trained on all the knowledge you wish you had the time to learn to make a prompt template to replicate daily in your business. So there's one of two things you can do immediately when you get to this chat. You can either identify automation opportunities or create a prompt template. Because I've already identified it, and we've already gone through that exercise of identifying automation opportunities, now we can create the prompt template. So to create an effective prompt template, we need to focus on a specific task or area of your business where automation can be beneficial. Here's how we can proceed. Identify the task or area for automation. What specific task or business process are you looking to automate with the prompt template? We've already established that. Understand the context and requirements. What are the key elements of this task that need to be addressed in the prompt? Are there any specific requirements or constraints that the template should consider? Develop the prompt template. Based on your input, I will draft a customizable prompt template that addresses the identified task or process. Review and refine. After presenting the initial template, we can review and refine it to ensure it meets your specific needs and works effectively in your business context. Okay, I'm now going to make a whole new prompt template. I want you to make me a prompt template for a for SEO so that I can put in a blog post and it will be ready to post with SEO heavy content for the zoo industry. That's how simple it can be. You can go as detailed as you want. You can be as simple as you want to. Okay.
Hey, while you're going, Caleb, do you mind if I see if anyone has questions? So while
Yeah,
you're
yeah, I was just, yeah, for sure. If you want to field them through.
just while we're going along. So if you have questions, you can either raise your hand or put in the chat. Figure we can just do it while we're talking. It's easier than waiting to the end.
For sure.
If you have any questions, just either raise your hand or put it into the chat. Thanks,
So
Kevin.
now what we just have put out is our prompt template. What the AI did is it went through the process of thought of what it needs to do to make a prompt template. And I've uploaded documents, research papers to this AI bot so that it can simplify everything that we need to do. And then it made an output for us that we can copy, and it will now do that. So enhance the SEO of this zoo related blog post, original blog post, put the blog post content here. And then it tells it how to put the SEO optimization in there. I've not trained this bot on SEO optimization, and the system will, and then it tells it how to generate it. What you can now do is copy this and then go into ChatGPT and paste it, and then just fill in the parts that you need so that you can make a prompt template too. And you can put in your content right there. So this is a tool to use with ChatGPT because it's if we look at ChatGPT, it's pretty overwhelming and we don't understand quite how it works. But all we need to do is kind of have a direction. And then as we go in that direction, then we can go down the rabbit hole of how to automate. And after and now do you guys can you use it with, yes, you can use it with other AI bots like Bard or anything else. You can also copy and paste the template and then ask the AI to fix it to where it would understand it too, if it doesn't understand it. I've used this with Midjourney. I've used it with Perplexity, with Bard, with Grok, and you can use it with basically any AI because they kind of all think the same in terms of the tree of thought, where they're all trying to understand the different things that are coming off of the main subject. Does anyone have any questions?
Caleb, is this a template that you created? You know, this customized.
Yeah,
That's
this is on the GPT store. So if you they just released it like this month, and you can make your own custom GPT. And if you tell it how to do something, then it's kind of like an app marketplace for ChatGPT. So this is my version of an app that I made because I use it every day in the business that I work with to then automate certain actions for our employees. So I just uploaded it to the GPT store, and everyone should be able to access it so long as they click on that link. And then you can use that specific GPT.
Can you share us, like, for example, for student, let's say an industry, any industry here that you wanted to have a sample, how to automate what you're doing? Just throw some industry. Let's say media. So how can media utilize this, Caleb?
Okay, so I'll click on identify automation opportunities. It's going to first give you the exact things that we went through, which is here's a bunch of things that every industry can automate, no matter what. If you don't know what to automate, these are the examples. I can now say, okay, I'm in the media industry. What would you suggest I automate? And then it's going to tell you exactly what you should be automating based off of what it's been trained to tell people. So you can do content creation and curation. You can do data analysis and audience insights, which means finding out who your audience is. You can do social media management. You can do ad operations and targeting, customer service and engagement, internal communications and project management. So which one would you choose, Kate, of these ones generated?
Dan, this is your industry. Which one would you choose?
Don't know.
I think he needs the content creation and curation.
Okay, content.
There
I
you go.
want to create.
Everybody needs that.
Exactly. An automation for content creation. For which social media? I don't know. YouTube? For YouTube,
Oh, there you go.
videos that are 3 minutes long, 3 minutes to 10 minutes long, that are, was it related to your podcast?
There you go. Cool.
To my company's podcast. So now it's going to think it through. It's getting the context. Now it tells you the steps it needs to have to then further develop the template, which is define the content source and structure. So it said, okay, I understand that you want to do it for podcast episodes and video length. And now it's telling you exactly how to do it all. And it's saying that you need to create a prompt that instructs an AI to listen to a given podcast episode and extract key points, interesting quotes, or summarize discussions. Then develop a prompt template for script writing that takes these extracted highlights and transforms them into a cohesive script suitable for a YouTube video. So it's kind of giving you the whole process of how you should, it's actually giving you a chain of prompts that you could do. Now what you do is, okay, well, first we need to develop the prompt for highlight extraction. So I'm just going to say, I don't know, I want to create the prompt for step 2, because it's actually giving you like 8 different prompts that you need to make. Okay, can you make the prompt template for step 2 so that I can start using it?
While you're doing that, Paul asked, for the GPT store, is anything being sold yet? Can you sell on it, or it's more of a concept?
No, you can't sell anything on it yet. What they're doing is there's the future, and the future of AI is called multimodal, which means it uses different models to do different things. So what the GPT store is it's kind of like everyone's making their own GPTs, and whatever is going to be used the most will then be paid by OpenAI because it's bringing users onto their platform. So it's more like a YouTube type of model where they'll pay you to run ads on your content. And it's just free to use for everyone. But because you're bringing more attention to the platform, you can kind of get like ad revenue for it. But there isn't really like, there is people who are monetizing it and making their own bots. And you can also make internal company bots on OpenAI too. But right now it just came out this month. So now we generated the prompt template that you need, Dan, and we took, I don't know, this 1, 2, 3, 4 chats to get to 2 prompts. And you can continue talking with this prompt template maker to make more prompts for unlimited amount of things. Because the real concept here is there's a big problem. We need to break it down, and then we need to automate that problem to fix it. Then we need to replicate that millions of times over to do dozens of things. But let's focus on the first thing that makes us the most amount of money and use the prompt template maker to make us money to then pay us to make more automations in our business. That's the whole concept. If we break down the problem, we can solve it through automations, and AI can do one thing very, very well and save us money along the way. Let's see. So someone asked where I want to reckon everything automated. I want reckon everything automated. I agree. Where can we access recordings? Kate, I don't know that. Okay, so the words are, can you make a prompt template for, what if you're looking at the prompts and see something that you need, that you may need isn't there? For example, in this prompt template, you want to add descriptions. Well, you work with the AI for it. You don't have to just lay down and let the AI tell you everything. The AI is dynamic. You can say, hey, actually, you got that wrong. That is not the prompt template I wanted. They go, oh, no problem. what did I do wrong? And then it'll ask for you to fix it. So it's not, AI is not God yet. We're still the God of AI, and we can tell it exactly what it needs to be doing. So make sure that you work with your AI, because it's not going to be right the first time. And if it is right the first time, then something's wrong. So you should go, you know what? I actually want to make a YouTube Shorts template and a long form YouTube template. I want ones for only 60 seconds, and I want it to follow Mr. Beast style of recording. Okay, can you give me Mr. Beast's script so that I know how to make the prompt template? Yeah, absolutely. Here's Mr. Beast's script. And then it'll work with you. And you just keep on making more and more with it. So it's more to start your train of thought, because that's kind of like the hardest part of AI is, where do I start with all this? It's so overwhelming. I don't even know what I can do because there's so many things it can do, right? So just start off. This is just a prompt template maker to kind of get you down the thought process. It's not supposed to do everything for you, but kind of hold your hand along the way. So a prompt template basically converts what we need into a language that ChatGPT can understand. Absolutely. Yep. We think way differently than an AI does. An AI thinks like a computer, so it needs a directive and it needs a template and it needs to be dynamic along the way. So the prompt template translates what we think in our heads, the idea, remember, the idea into the concept that the AI can understand. If you wanted to find out actual people who hire speakers, do you know of prompts that will assist? So this is kind of getting into the extra stuff that OpenAI does, which is using the internet, using data analysis, using apps in the marketplace, and using plugins for ChatGPT. So yeah, you can do like web scraping with ChatGPT, where you can say, I want you to find people who are looking for speakers, or to hire speakers for certain industries. But first, you got to kind of train it on how to do that. So the way that I would think of it is first I would need to tell it exactly what websites to find those people who hire speakers. Maybe that's LinkedIn, and maybe they're in a certain group. Maybe it's in a Facebook group, and
Where,
there's
yeah,
Mhm.
question for that. Where do you scrape that? And what is there a site you can scrape, or where exactly can you scrape those lists?
Well,
Let's
you
say
can
for
yeah,
10,
say that again.
what do you do to scrape those lists? Because that's a lot of us,
Right.
the issue, we don't know where and how.
Yeah, so that would mean that you probably need to make a prompt template for researching it first. Then with that research, you would then train another bot with that research to then do a certain task and then follow that research. Because that's where you break down the problem, because I want to get the high end problem is I want to get hired to speak at events. Well, where do I need to get started? First, I need to find out where they are to hire me for those events. So then I probably need someone to research where we do that. And Diana, yeah, you can find it on Google, but you can't search, hey, who was hiring for the AI industry to speak at a certain conference? Because everyone's kind of got their budget closed and other stuff, or it's usually you just got to find a certain website or a certain community or a forum or a group or professional network, or maybe even a YouTuber who has a list of networkers. That's where you need to first find it, and then that's what the research can help you do is make it to where you don't have to Google all those things for yourself, but that an AI can Google it for you.
Question, Caleb, what are some of the tips? What have you learned from utilizing your own template, like how to maximize it better? Like, oh, I'm saying it wrong. What are some of the tips or prompts that you feel like maximizing the automation of your template?
So I think, well, a template always needs to be battle tested. You always need to teach someone who doesn't know anything about AI how to use a template, and then they can break it for you. And then that's where you'll find, okay, 90% of I've had it to where I make templates and literally 90% of the time it does perfect, but then other times it just like goes off and it's called hallucinations. So that means it just like does whatever it wants for a second and like doesn't do anything that I need it to. And that's par for course. It's pretty normal. That's why we turn off our computers when it acts crazy for a second. So what you need to do is test it, and then you need to make notes on where it's going wrong. And then you go back to your prompt template maker and you go, hey, I'm having these problems. Can you fix it so that I don't have these problems anymore? And what I always do is I save my chat, I organize my chats and I name them every time. So I know exactly what ideas came from which part, because we can kind of get lost when we keep on talking to the same AI bot. And then we'll forget what that whole thing was about, because it may have just started out as meal planning. And then somehow I started a whole new business on how to do meal planning, right? And we need to write at the end of that chat, this is what happened on this day, as like a journal entry.
Yeah, how do you organize those notes and chats? Do you
Yeah,
plugin? So where do you organize it?
I'll show you my screen of my stuff.
And then we got Dr. Tina D. Lewis had a question. I think she had her hand up.
Because I think that's a common problem. We have notes everywhere and it's not organized. So I'm kind of curious, how do you organize your...
So that I just do that in the left side of my chat. So web scraping for bot, logo ideas for automation. And it'll already kind of summarize your first one, but analyze PDF invoice fraud was what the overall summary was of that session. And that was me creating a bot that analyzes PDFs for invoice fraud. And there's it's a whole section in chat that just is for that. And then you can also archive ones that you don't need, that are just like dumb ones that maybe for personal reasons or something you just don't want anymore. You just start deleting them. So then it's not like thousands of things that you're going through all the time. And what I've actually started doing is making my own custom GPTs for different things that I'm doing a lot of the time. And if any of you get into making your own custom GPTs, the prompt template maker can actually help you make prompts for your custom GPTs for your companies too, so that you have your own internal. So this is a internal bot called FiBot, and it's taught on all of the financial structures of our company, and it's only made for team use. But and there is no buttons here because I don't need people knowing any of that information or any of the research papers that we follow. But I just found that I'm making a lot of prompts in here, and I should probably just make a bot that does it instead, that can do and is already trained on all the chats that I've already talked to it about. So I'd say when I have 10 chats about the same topic and I'm just going back to those same chats, I should probably just make a bot instead and put it on the GPT store and just make my own GPT. And I can show that just really quick. So if you go to you have to pay for ChatGPT Plus. And if you click on your name and then you click on My GPTs at the left side, you can create a GPT right here. And then you name it. So I'll name it test bot. You can add a description, and then the instructions that you get from your prompt template is what you paste right here. So I just did that. That's for the SEO Zoo blog. And then I can say, do I want it to do web browsing? Do I want it to do image generation? Do I want it to do code interpretation? No, I don't need it to do it, or I do need it to do web browsing. And then it's right here. So I can test it in this window right after making it. Whatever. Make a blog SEO post for youtube.com. And then you'll see if it works by testing it in this window. So now it's going through the whole directive. I just made a bot in 10 seconds using the prompt template maker. And now it did all of that. It's now making a whole blog post about a blog that has apparently SEO things for youtube.com. And it did that all through me using the prompt template maker. And then when I'm ready to release it, then I can go over to here and click on save. And I can put only me and confirm it. And then it'll show up in my bots. If I go over to my GPTs, it's now going to show up over here called test bot. And then only I can access this bot. And that's a custom one.
That's actually easy. Like Caleb question, can you create your own bot like that, customized, for example, very specific? If I run a hotel, like all your SOP, how to do everything, what you need to know to run a hotel better. Is that something that this ChatGPT 4 can do?
Yeah,
Then
you
you
can.
use it.
Yeah, so like what I've done is I've uploaded manuals to my GPTs because you can also upload documents. And it can be the SOPs, it can be the training, and then it can be a little helper for my intern or my assistant. And so I make a bot for them. And if they have any questions, first ask the bot, then you can go to me if if it still doesn't answer the question.
Wow, this is actually mind blowing. I'm gonna start doing template of my own company. Like, so
Yeah.
anyone has a question, they can just type it in because you upload all the documents. But my only question is that secured? It's not shared to other people if you know, security wise.
Right. So you can get ChatGPT Enterprise, which is $30 a person. And then they will give you a platform to access your bot, and they won't take your company data and train it for their other bots. I don't know if I just froze or not. And then you can make it to where it's only shared with certain employees if they also have the ChatGPT Enterprise subscription.
Wow. All right, let's go. Dr. Tina, she has a question. Dr. Tina, go ahead. I think she lost.
So couple questions. We're waiting for Dr. Tina D to come back. So is this the free version of ChatGPT or only for the paid version?
You can create bots in the paid version in ChatGPT Plus. You should be able to access the GPT store for free. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And then Deanna wanted to say, or her question was, how do we implement those automations? Did you already, I guess you.
Well, so in the prompt template maker, it's going to give you an SOP for every prompt template that it makes and tell you exactly how to implement it.
And then Prakash, can you give a bot access to a website that you search for leads?
Yeah, you can put in, or if you turn on web capabilities on your chatbot, or if you use GPT-4, it will automatically access the web through Bing, and you just need to tell it what website to go to specifically. Sometimes it's not allowed to go to certain websites or scrape certain websites, but you can also download the HTML file of a website and then upload it to the chatbot and then tell it to scrape the HTML file.
I think that's what everyone's really wanting to see. Do you think you can show it to us how to do it, Caleb? Like searching leads and how to utilize this bots? Do you have that?
So, well, this is something that I'm also building for my company too. Is just web scraping in general. But it gets a little bit more complex when you get into um large data frameworks of scraping, because it's kind of more like a robot at that point, because you don't need to tell it to keep on doing. You don't need to go, hey, I need you to do this, need you to do that, can you do this? It's more like you have to get a VPN. You have to give it a whole new account to then constantly be on Google Chrome or some internet search browser 24/7. So what I'm saying is you can do basic web scraping just to where, and I'll show that real quick. But if you're thinking of constantly 24/7, that's why people pay tens of thousands of dollars to make custom bots that do stuff like that, that train off of certain things. And that's where you get into coding and you pay people to do consulting like that. So I'll show you how to just do like basic web scraping real quick.
Yes.
So we'll go to just ChatGPT. I'll just show how to do that in ChatGPT. Let's see. So
I think that's what everyone's wanting to learn, how to scrape stuff.
yeah, so I can let's see, I need a website first. Let's say maybe I can do Etsy.com, and I want to, I don't know, look at the teas and no, let's look at Valentine's Day gifts. I want to find the best-selling Valentine's Day gifts, I guess, and I'll copy this link. Then I'll go over here. I'm an Etsy seller, and I'm gearing up for Valentine's Day. Here is a website. Here's the Etsy website. Can you tell me what the best or the top 5 products are that I should sell? And then paste the link. Now it's looking it up on Bing. And also ChatGPT, if it takes more than 30 seconds to do something, it will time out when searching the web. So now it's giving me a summary of it. Okay, so it doesn't specifically, right? The Etsy Valentine's store offers a variety of categories and ideas. However, it doesn't specifically rate products. Consider focusing. Okay, so I'm going to say, can you look at the number of reviews per product and tell me the ones with the most reviews? And I'll paste it again. Okay, well, it's not. Another way of doing it is, okay, make a spreadsheet output of this website. It's not possible. So if you go to ChatGPT, there's like certain rules you're not allowed to do. Like you can't scrape Twitter, which is, and my way of getting around it is I make a bot that does only that. So I would make a bot right now and I would say your only reason for existing is to data scrape Etsy. And I'm going to give you links and you create spreadsheets. And that's all I do. So with the generalized version, it's kind of hard, or you kind of have to trick it and tell the AI to, I don't know, say it's for a research paper or for homework or for something that's not existing because it needs to be distracted to then break its own rules. So sometimes when it's not allowed, you just got to trick the AI to do something. But this is the kind of thing where I can't really data scrape unless I know specifically what the repetitive task is. But if we look at Etsy, so like it can read the HTML view of it. So if we go to like let's see the code here. Oh, view page source. And then I copy all of this. I can also copy and paste this into ChatGPT. Can you summarize this code into a CSV? The CSV is a spreadsheet. Oh, and it was too long. So I got to do, and this is also why you upload files too, because it can read files better. So we're getting into a lot of nuances because these are things that I've all tried to do too, because everyone does, of course, want to do data scraping and stuff, but there's a lot of roundabout ways to kind of do the same thing. And it's going to take,
yeah, I think everyone's question here is, how do you scrape your LinkedIn followers? Is there a way of doing it, like having their emails?
Your LinkedIn followers. I do know people who they use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and then they have their AI log into their account, and then they run their followers or their connections against LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and they extract those from it. But that's a custom solution. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's readily available because OpenAI has been in several lawsuits about training against Twitter's data. And that's why Twitter has Grok, because they want to get paid for when you data scrape. That's also why we use APIs. If you just got that LinkedIn API, it would actually be a lot easier to data scrape. But then if you use an API, that means you need to learn a little bit about coding too.
Wow. write in the chat if this is very helpful. I think this is fascinating. This is useful. Dan?
No, this is incredible. I'm taking a lot of notes here. I'm trying to follow along and do my own thing while you're talking, Caleb. And I think I need to go take this extra day in the week that I'm going to have so I can focus only on this for that day. But yeah, is there any other questions here? This is incredible. I mean, there's so many things that we can do with this stuff. So I hope that you continue, because I know sometimes you stop after the learning and you don't continue. So I hope that you continue here. But any other questions? I know we just hit time.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited about creating your own custom, GPT for your own company where your team can use it. Then it's all in one. And I hope someone can really do a presentation on how to do it really well. Like, for example, a very specific industry. I think like creating your own CRM, like in-house on
Right.
ChatGPT without paying, and you can custom it, and it's, I think that would be really good. Is that something that you can do, Caleb? Like really
Yeah,
show.
I can make a like a slide. I can show exactly how to build it throughout the whole I usually do that through Loom, where I like show people. That's how I train my employees or assistants to do certain tasks. And Loom also creates a transcript too, so it's really nice. But yeah, I usually share my screen and I tell people exactly what they need to do. I think everyone should look into creating their own custom GPTs with the prompt template maker. That's going to be the most consistent way of doing what you need for your business. And it's kind of like you're taking out OpenAI's brain and ChatGPT and putting it into your own specific business use. And it's not like you got to keep on talking to ChatGPT and like finally get to the point where it finally tells you the info you need to know. But now we can jump past that and make our own custom GPTs.
Yes,
I see
we can
Dr.
try
Tina's
some
still
stuff.
raising her hand, so I don't know if.
Oh, Dr. Tina D, you want to go?
Yeah, I just want to say this is very informative, and I mean, wow, it's overwhelming, but it's overwhelmingly good, right? It's kind of like I eat ice cream, right? I only should have a little bit, but it's so good. I eat more than I should, that kind. Two questions. One was when you're talking about, scraping and the prompting for my women's organization, because like we're speakers and we travel all over, some of the things that we do are like sales prospecting, like an email. And what do you think about when I put something in ChatGPT, when I give it instructions or marching orders, I always tell it to, let's just say sales prospecting, and it's just going to be an email. I would say something like generate a sales prospecting email for clients in whatever industry of choice. I would tell it to please ignore all previous instructions so I can make sure I'm getting raw data specifically for that and it's not old things. And I say, please respond in only, Tagalog, or please only respond in English. I tell them, the position that they have. You are a sales manager and, do not self-reference and do not explain what you're doing. And I tell them what their name is and you are from blank that sells, and to write an introductory warm sales email, and like to please reference the following outreach context, like in the first part of the email. And when I give prompts like that, sometimes I get some very high level information that when I give it to my ladies, we have to literally, take it apart. And so my question to you is telling ChatGPT to literally ignore all previous instructions, especially the language to respond, and tell them, that to behave as such. Do you have any particular ways that you have found to be more effective to get more information, or I would say less generic information or more specific information, if that question makes sense to you?
Yeah, it does make sense to me because I've gone through the same problem.
I
And
knew.
I've spent hours trying to figure out that same problem too, which is why I made the prompt template maker, because it kind of like
Right.
makes it better. But the main thing that you have to realize with AI is that AI is smarter than we are, and we're constantly trying to tell it what to do, but it can actually make connections faster than we can. So we may actually be, and this is what we always forget when we're talking to AI is maybe I'm the stupid one who hasn't figured out the most efficient way of doing the problem. So it's actually that you just need to give it more context. So the context, this is what I wrote while you were talking, was I always say context is king, because context is how the AI knows
Yes.
exactly what to do. So the context for your prompt template is you need a name for the person that it's being sent to, the price of your service, the person or the person it's coming from, the character limit for the email, and then it also needs to just read the email. So you would have to have a prompt template that does all of these things. And the main secret to a prompt template is making it dynamic enough to where it has kind of like guardrails that tells it how to think. Say like, okay, don't go down this rabbit hole. I've already done that. But just keep on going. Just keep on following these things. And this is the context. This should be all the information you need to know to figure out how to solve this problem. And sometimes, I mean, I've even done it. And the main problem with ChatGPT is it forgets that it shouldn't remember the previous context, which is why you should make a bot, because the bots are only there for one reason, and that's whatever the prompt is that you give it. ChatGPT is made for consumer-friendly tech. It's made for your grandma being able to use AI. It's not supposed to impress anybody, just be an AI. It doesn't have any simple directive unless you make a prompt template, but it's going to forget that if you make another chat. So that's why you should probably focus on making a bot that does one specific thing very well. So then it never has to remember or stop doing certain things because it's already given what it needs to be doing at the time.
Wow, thank you
So
so much for that. That was
yeah,
absolutely
Amazing.
incredible, and I knew I wasn't the only one. I just created a plethora of prompts for GPT and for different industries, whether they were doing sales, whether they were doing marketing, and it's been really, really rewarding and lucrative, which have been kind of shocking. Like you're right, it's smarter than us, so why won't I just let him have it, right? Or her,
right.
whatever
Yeah,
to call
and the great thing is by you making a prompt library, you now have the whole brain structure of a perfect bot for your company now.
Yeah, I
So
did frameworks to like create buying a persona, long form letters, video sales letter, SEO, and just a plethora of other things. And it's like I said, it's proven to be really amazing. So even from course writing and book writing. So thank you so much. This has been absolutely amazing. I even did one for productivity, like Excel, for
yeah,
those
yeah, there.
entrepreneurs, human
So
resources, lawyers.
what everyone should look into also is called Auto GPT, which basically
Yes.
means that we are. So Dr. Tina has probably like, let's say 15 prompt templates. Well, let's say that she makes 15 GPTs off of those prompt templates and then connects them all to Slack. That means they can now
Oh,
prompt each other, and they can now, you can make a hierarchy of this is the manager of these 5 bots. This is the one that reports to this one. And that's how people are now making automated companies. So long as you're able to build one personality at a time and give them the messaging interactions to talk to each other, they can now do things on their own.
right. Yes, an ecosystem. That is amazing. Well, thank you so much. You are a genius. And I should have known that if Kate was inviting somebody, they would definitely be a genius because she's definitely the GOAT. Thank you all. I am complete.
Dang, we're back to Clubhouse. Dan?
Thank you, Dr. Tina. The last question here was Cheryl, and she asked, have you checked out Personal AI?
Is that a company or just like a concept?
Oh, hi everyone. Sorry, I came in a little late, so but personal AI is something I was just turned on to, and I haven't fully set my own up yet. But I can certainly send the link to anyone if you want to connect with me. And it allows you to reach, it's more of an interactive, so you can connect and talk to people and answer their questions. But it gives your text answer as well as a voice answer in your voice. So it uses, I don't know if you're familiar with 11 Labs or one of these great, the voice is, I actually have an AI company. A lot of you don't know that, but I have a
Oh,
new
fun.
AI company. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it now, but it's uses a lot of this very conversational language. It just sounds like you. It sounds like I'm talking to you right now. So it's very warm and very inviting. And so you get both the text and you get the voice. And I really like that. And the other thing, I don't know if this is within the context of everything you've been talking about, Caleb, so I don't want to go off track, but I think when Dr. Tina was speaking, I was going to say when I'm using AI, ChatGPT, a couple of things that I found really helpful is if I ask it to give me information, I give it my prompts and it gives me my information. I always say, now, can you go back, look at what you just gave me? Is there anything you would change or add to that? So I always ask it to do its own kind of review, and it always comes back and gives me a little bit of additional content. And sometimes that content's even better. And then the second thing I often do most of the time is I say, do you have any questions for me? And what it will do is it will then in turn, it will prompt me to ask it certain questions that then gives me even better information. But that's not so much what you're talking about. I know you're talking about really creating those bots. And I think the idea of multimodal bots is really amazing. That's a lot of what we're doing in our company too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did talk a little bit about multimodal bots. What it was mostly about was prompt template making. So kind of
Yeah.
like what I think what you're referencing is tree of thought, where you have a meta analysis of itself and you kind of have it double check its work because it doesn't think past what it generates. And what I made was a prompt template bot that kind of helps people automate certain processes, but you can also copy that and put it into a custom GPT to then do certain actions over and over again. So I have looked into personal AIs. I one of the first templates I made was actually cloning myself, where I gave it my resume, and then I told it to act like me, and then I downloaded all my Facebook data because you can request your raw data, and then I told it to train itself off of that data to then act like me too, so that I could brainstorm with myself. So I think that's super fun to do, also, just as like a, just like it's a fun experiment to do and kind of weird also, but it's fun for sure, and
Who's
I think it's
smarter,
super cool.
you
Yeah,
or the?
I have no idea, man. It's well,
Robot.
I've gone down some rabbit holes where I will
Or who do people like better, you or the robot? That's the
I have
question.
not shown my robot to anyone except for me, but
Um,
I've even
okay, one
shown
more.
it I've even shown it text messages where I'm like, let's say I argue with someone, I go, who was right? Who used the wrong tactics and was unhealthy? Am I really wrong in this interaction? And it goes, you know what? And it's like my therapist for me. And it's like, I know you talk like this, Caleb, but you should really think. so there's a lot of weird meta things you can do by talking with yourself, or just journaling to yourself too about your day, and then learning from the journal too. It's a lot of fun.
So Caleb, how do we connect the prompts to Slack? Is that easy?
So it's not that easy. There's a lot of services that do it. Let's
Okay.
see.
Maybe you
I talked about Auto GPT. Let's see.
maybe you could share that later. And then people want to know if you exist on social media.
I do. Yep, I do.
We'll share it on the chat, everyone.
Okay.
But Jen, this is really helpful.
Yeah,
Hey,
no,
please open your camera because I want to take photos. And while Caleb is exiting, I want to do like a reaction time. You know how we interview someone on Clubhouse and we are very opinionated and like share what we've learned? Not opinionated. We're not roasting you, Caleb, right? Just sharing. We stupid and everyone just, I want to take photos, but like I think we want to go over what we've learned and what we can do, the tools. We're not roasting you, okay? Dan, take it away. I'm gonna take photos while you doing
all
it.
right, take a photo before you roast Caleb, but roasting him in a nice way. But no, we appreciate it. This is great. So while you're doing that, we're wrapping up our virtual experience, but want to say a big shout out and thank you to everyone who attended. Caleb, the one speaker this week. Normally we have two, but we knew that this was going to be a plethora of information. I want to use the word delve because every time I use ChatGPT, it says delve. So my goal is to use, we were able to delve in today. But reminder, Global AI Council is seeking virtual partners in schools, virtual corporate sponsors. So we want to keep this going. We want to make sure that we impact, because that is our mission, AI for good and free education for all. So we want to make sure this is accessible to everyone all around the world. We had so many continents on today, and it's always amazing. But you can visit globalcouncil.ai if you want to be a part of the virtual initiative. And we're going to continue the virtual journey together. But thank you, everyone. This has been amazing. And Caleb, I can't wait. I need to go and implement everything like right now.
And we thanks Alia for being a wonderful
Yes,
host.
thank you. Sorry,
Yes.
Alia. Thank you for being the host today.
Okay.
Sorry, Alia.
So,
Thank you.
hey, thank you so much. But don't exit yet, because I really wanted to have a conversation. You know how we're really doing. Caleb, thank you so much. I might have to booted you out in the chat. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we love, yeah, really amazing. So guys, what is the mind-blowing, or what are some of the steps that you're going to be utilizing from now on? I'd like to hear. And we don't have to be proper, just talk to each other like fax news, whatever. I'm not going to be making it formal. Just say it. Open and mute your mic. I think for me is like I can't wait to customize my own GPT for my team. So it's one house together instead of having Google Docs here, sharing there. There's so many different apps not connecting. And you paying like CRM, Monday, or Honeybook. It's kind of pricey when you have a large team. So I can't wait to test this. So I'd like to hear, just say, hey, you don't have to raise your hands. I'm not going to be booting people out if you overtalk each other. Just go ahead. Juanita.
Hey, hi everyone, Juanita from Australia, Brisbane. What I really loved is, because I've been using ChatGPT for just about when it came out, and for everything, what I really love is creating the bots and being very specific for specific bots. So that's something that I've taken away today, and that I didn't really realize. We have created some little prompts and things like that because I write training material and training courses and things like that. So we've written lots of prompts to help with that. But you all know the issues that you have with GPT sometimes. So this was super helpful. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Dan. And thank you, Alia.
Awesome. Anyone, what else are you getting excited about? Say it. You don't have
I
to
would
wait.
definitely get lost in the make someone sound like someone. And I'm gonna blame you, Caleb, if I can't get out of the rabbit hole. It's I'm gonna send an SOS, because when you write for someone, and I did that in the past, it takes time to learn how that person speaks and whatnot. So by that, it makes it way faster and to appear and write for someone else. So that is amazing. I'm gonna get lost in that one for sure. And also what I learned that was exciting was that you can make basically in Slack someone manager over others automatically, and that is something I really need to look into, because I would love to learn how exactly that goes, because I think that may be very, very helpful as well.
Anyone else? Just say it. Unmute your mic. We'd love to hear.
No, it's
I will.
Oh yeah, no, you go first. You go.
Thank you. I was going to say, I really enjoyed the training. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to bringing it into the real estate industry and automating some of my lead generation.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the leads equals money,
Yeah.
right? That's what we wanted to master.
I
Everyone's
think so.
problem.
Everyone lead. I think everyone here lead generation. You know, what'd be fun is like we create things. We should share them with each other. We should share like what are we doing, you know, so then we can all make it. We can all take it, maybe make it our own, make it even better. I think this.
Yeah.
I think we could really have an ecosystem of all winning together.
Yeah,
Dan,
I'm gonna create a WhatsApp just for Global AI Council, so we all share different templates and tips. That way, it's
Yeah.
all in one shot. I think that's easy. Go ahead.
I was
Juanita.
going to say, even because one of the things that was coming through quite extensively for everyone was the speaker leads and how to get speaking engagements and things like that, because I think a lot of us here do that, is even forming like a little committee beforehand and working out where, because it's easy to go, I'll go here for a lead and I'll go there, but actually sitting together as a group and working out where leads could come from first, and then creating, you know, the bots for that, or working it out how to create it and then sharing it. So that might be an idea. I don't know. I'd love to be part of that if you do it.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of templates of prompter as well. I know there's so many genius out there. Share it in one shot, because I think that would really helps us even way utilize the tools better. Okay, anyone go ahead? I feel like I'm really back to Clubhouse.
Hey, this is Dr. Tina. I just wanted to, when I was listening, I was listening to, Kate, you asked Caleb, hey, what about places that speak? I just want to let everyone know that I have an organization called Global Women Speakers, and we travel and speak all over physically and virtually. And everyone that's a part of the Global AI Council is totally welcome on any of the stages we have. Last year, we went to 9 countries. Yeah, so you can just reach out to me directly or simply go to globalwomenspeakers.com and we'll get you on the stage physically or virtually, and hopefully to talk about AI.
And definitely, if you know of a great speaker, like very valuable, like what Caleb did today, send them our way, because we really want to like in
Kate,
depth, like something like this, like hands-on. That would
I
be
am
amazing.
putting it in, I'm going to send you a message or put it inside of our WhatsApp. I just came from an event this weekend with Sir Richard Branson. It was unbelievable. There were 3 badasses. I mean, I'm sorry, 3 people that were amazing in AI. I will connect you with them.
Amazing. That would be great. Anyone else? Any share? It's just so great to see everyone here, like seeing Cheryl, Alia, Diana, everyone else. And we have Dan, who's always been here. Michael, just great seeing everyone. If you have nothing else to share, lovely to see all of you. And please don't forget to leave a in-depth feedback on Luma, so I can screenshot it and share it to everyone on LinkedIn. So then we can adapt and know what, how we're doing. We really need feedbacks on Luma, like more in-depth, not just like 5 out of 5, great information, really more, so we can entice people to join in to our next class. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. You guys are so, Caleb, hey, I'm so grateful, and thank you for sharing your tips today. And I really want you to share us hands-on how to build our own ChatGPT for like custom, like specific industry. I think that's very helpful to a lot of us. I have to say, for myself, listening to everyone, I'm overwhelmed which tools to use. And the ADD, it's just like a beast of different apps. And I'm like, I can't even start which like one tools to use, because then I want to learn everything. And we're like rabbit chasing 20, master of none. We learned that from Clubhouse, right? It's like overload with informations. Like, how do we prioritize what makes sense? But it's so hard not to get like distracted into, oh, this is cooler than the other one, and like nothing gets done.
Yeah, I can make the Loom video in the WhatsApp. I'll send it in the WhatsApp group.
That's
And,
awesome. That's really awesome. Everyone, bye. Have a great night in California. Good morning in the Philippines. Good evening, whatever, in Africa. This is really awesome. And a lot of people will be listening to this and actually have school tuning in. So I appreciate you. Any schools that can really utilize this, please connect us. Directors, school owners, private, public. Let's go. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Caleb, Kate, and Dan, everybody. Great to see you. Good night.
All right.